We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 23, Text 57. Etam sa astaya paratmanishtam adhyasitam purvatamair maharshibihi aham darishyami duranta param tamo mukundangri nishevayaiva. Translation. I shall cross over the insurmountable ocean of nations by being firmly fixed in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. This was approved by the previous acharyas who were fixed in firm devotion to the Lord Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. The word Paratmanishta means being a devotee of Lord Krishna. Paratma, the Supreme Person, is Krishna. Ishvara Paramakrishna Sachitananda Vigraha. Those who are completely dedicated to the lotus feet of Krishna in service are actually sannyasis. As a matter of formality, the devotee accepts the sannyas dress as previous acharyas did. He also accepts the three dandas. Later, Vishnu Swami considered that accepting the dress of a tridandi was paratmanishta. Therefore, sincere devotees add another danda, the jiva danda, to the three existing dandas. The Vaishnava sannyasi is known as a tridandi sannyasi. The Mayavadi sannyasi accepts only one danda, not understanding the purpose of tridanda. Later, many persons in the community of Shiva Swami gave up the Atmanishta, devotional service of the Lord, and followed the path of Shankaracharya. Instead of accepting 108 names, those in the Shiva Swami Sampradaya follow the path of Shankaracharya and accept the 10 names of sannyas. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the then existing order of sannyas, namely Ekadanda, he still recited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam about the Tridanda sannyas accepted by the Brahmana of Avantipur. Indirectly, he declared that within that Ekadanda, one danda, 4 dandas existed as one. So this is a very long purport, and we will not read it all. This verse is a part of the chapter called The Song of the Avanti Brahmana from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a story about one person who was first engaged in different activities for his own sense gratification, accumulating wealth, trying to be happy, and then he became frustrated, his family left him, and what is described here in what we just read in the purport is something that he started to live a lifestyle of a sannyasi in the renounced order of life, and he gave up everything. Just a few days ago I heard that one young girl from Croatia has left her parents and went to a monastery. And I think she is committed to 1 year to not contact anyone. Nobody can see her. Nobody can contact her. It's one of the stricter orders. And my friend is also her friend, but I don't know her. I know this lady who is my friend, but I don't know her friend who went to a monastery to become a nun. And she was saying, my friend was saying that why, I don't understand why she left, and her parents are devastated. I cannot phone her, but I can send her a letter, and her parents can send her a letter, and even maybe the letters are censored. Letters are checked by the older nuns or whatever. So now, in this world, we have different religious orders, and we have people who are trying to renounce this world. And one way how to do this is to go to a monastery. And now our temples are supposed to be places where also we try to renounce the material world. But I don't know if you have visited monasteries, but I have visited monasteries, Christian monasteries in my life. And close the door, please. And they're not places that are very colorful, like Krishna temple. There are no places where like socializing is going on, and just monks live alone. They do some gardening or some agriculture. They don't preach very much. They have some rituals every day. So people are trying to renounce by changing the place, by going to a place which is supposed to be peaceful and which is supposed to help them in their spiritual life. And this person, this chapter is describing this person. He is Avanti Brahmana, Brahmana from the province called Avanti in India. He came to a point of renunciation by frustration. He was rejected by his family, and he felt great detachment. And there is a whole story in this whole chapter is about him. He's speaking about his realizations, and this verse, this is the best, I would say, the most exciting verse in the whole chapter, and this is why I have chosen it for today's talk. This is the pinnacle, or how we'll say, culmination of his thinking, his actually thinking about his situation, reflecting. So after understanding that material wealth is temporary, after understanding that family is temporary, and after being insulted and tortured by people who didn't believe that he has become renounced because they knew him from before, he developed great determination for spiritual life. He developed great determination, and this is his conclusion, that I will cross over the insurmountable ocean of material existence by engaging in devotional service of the Lord. So there is many lessons in this chapter, and I just gave class 2 hours ago here for the Tamil community of devotees, and we went through the whole chapter, the overview of the whole chapter, and we didn't even discuss this verse, didn't read it, but I wanted to share it with you today. Why? Because one great lesson from this chapter is his determination. And maybe you have tried your spiritual life a couple of times, maybe you have left it, maybe you have tried again, left it again, maybe you are trying for many years and somehow it's not easy. Maybe you have developed some determination, but one thing that is mentioned here is that he has become strong as a mountain. He has become determined as a mountain. He has become strong. His determination has become strong as the mountain. And mountain is unshakable. Nobody can move a mountain. Earthquake can move it a little bit, but usually mountain is very strong. So, those who want to make spiritual advancement, and I believe you are, is that we need this determination. But let us explore what is behind this determination. for someone to have a great determination in his spiritual life, he needs to have faith. He needs to understand why he should practice spiritual life. And he needs to have faith in God, and have faith in the scriptures, and have faith in saintly personalities who are practicing what is given in the scriptures, what is written, what is instructed, and to have realization that this is something that I really need. This is something that is most valuable. So sometimes people ask me, how can I develop discipline? And I say, you can try so many things. You can try to force yourself. You can try to be with people who are disciplined. You can practice a lot, different things. But ultimately, if you really want to get discipline, if you really want to give up all laziness about spiritual life or anything you want to do, you need to be inspired. So the key to laziness is inspiration. The key to discipline is inspiration. Maybe you have tried to get up in the morning. You try to get up at 7, 6, 5, 4. I get up at 3 every day when I'm not sick. And what does it take for us to get up so early, to meditate, to read, to chant, to connect with God? It takes inspiration. If you're inspired, you can do anything. I'm sure you have had experience in your life when you have wanted something so much that you have found a way how to do it, although it looked impossible, it looked hard, and sometimes it just it looked impossible. But nothing was stopping you because you were inspired. Nothing could stop you because you were inspired. So if you want to develop discipline, then you need inspiration. And now a natural next question is how to get inspired. First of all, if you want to get inspired, definitely you will find a way to get inspired. But inspiration is not something that falls from the sky. It's something that we seek, it's something that we want, it's something that we take responsibility for. If you want to get inspired, you will get inspired for something that you want to do. So now, Avanti Brahmana was so inspired, nothing could stop him. He became unstoppable. And this verse is just like the last of his statements, where he is showing how determined he is, how inspired he is. He's showing everybody who will read this. And now, the good thing about this story is that if we hear it, if we read it again and again, we will actually develop the same mentality as he. He went beyond the dualities of good and bad, of hot and cold, of fame and infamy, all kinds of dualities that material world puts us in. He overcame it. So these words from the scriptures, from the spiritual literature, are so powerful that simply by hearing we become empowered and we become inspired. If you read this story 3 times, I would even recommend 10 times, you will, when you get into a challenging situation in your life, you will know what to do. Because he's showing us how to react in different situations and what one should focus on, what is the value of life, how to be unstoppable, how to never be discouraged in your spiritual life or on your spiritual path. So we say that we need association of advanced devotees. And this association sometimes is present by their physical presence. But here we have association of Avanti Brahmana through his words, through the story of his life, through the song that he is singing. This chapter is called the Song of Avanti Brahmana. And we can associate with this very exalted person. He wasn't exalted before. He wasn't very exalted always. In the first part of the chapter, you can see how he was low, such a low person. Everybody rejected him. He was miserly. He was accumulating wealth, not even spending it for himself. Then gradually, by the will of providence, or by the will of God, he lost everything. The thieves, the government, maybe some family members, they took away everything from him. And he had a realization that actually you can lose anything in any moment and nothing belongs to you. Nothing belongs to you. And then, this is his determination. He decided to cross the ocean of material existence by taking shelter of the Lord. How? By devotional service. There are people, sometimes we meet people on the street, we want to distribute the book to them, and they say, I love God, I don't need you, I don't need these books, I have love of God. But actually, if you look at the table where they're sitting, they're drinking wine, they're smoking, they are engaged in different sinful activities, and they say that they love God. So God has given instructions how to live and how to purify one's heart so he can really love God. If you engage in activities that God is prohibiting, that he is speaking against, that they are not beneficial, then how can you say that you love God? You are working against yourself. So it's easy to say, I love you, or I love God. But the question is how you are serving the person you say you love, how you are serving God. And Avanti Brahmana now came to a point where he was not talking, he was doing things. He started living a lifestyle which is full of devotional service. When he became serious, sometimes you say, oh, I was so enthusiastic in spiritual life. And when I started associating with devotees, when I joined the movement, then my real trouble started. And I started having a lot of trouble, much more than before. It may happen, not to everybody, but it happens to some. And this happened to him. When he became serious, then so many more problems he got. People started insulting him. They thought he's a cheater. They knew him from before. They were spitting on him, urinating on him, stealing his food, tying him up, beating him up. You can't imagine how many problems he had. And how did he react? Now this is another great lesson. What he was thinking about what is happening to him. We all have experienced that something is happening to us, and we process, we understand, we interpret it. So now he is showing us how should we think about our problems, how should we think about our difficulties. If you learn to think about your difficulties in a very intelligent or spiritual way, you will be peaceful. Even if you are in the facing greatest difficulties. So he are showing us how to become peaceful even if you are in the middle of the storm, so to say, metaphorically. And I think this is very important and very valuable for us, because life is full of problems. There can be different disturbances from other people, from our own mind, from our own body, from natural disturbances. And we have to learn how to tolerate and how to behave and how to think about these things. For example, you can see that it's raining, and some of you maybe hate rain. You become depressed and you like more sunshine. So until now you have been thinking, whenever it's raining I become depressed. But now you have seen on Facebook somebody wrote that we have to learn to dance in the rain. Now you think, oh my God, how can this person think like this? Who is dancing in the rain? And how can I dance in the rain? And then you think, this is a completely different perspective on the rain. So maybe I should think like this. And one day you try to dance in the rain and you get wet. But you feel a little good that you have been dancing in the rain. So now we can say this is all a metaphor. This is all a metaphor. When the life's difficulties come, we should do what he has done. What he has done? He said an amazing thing. He said, God must be happy with me because he's giving me trouble. Now, whom do you know on this planet who thinks like this? Do you know any person who thinks like this? He says, thank you. Thank you for giving me trouble. You're so kind to me. Why? Because I'm becoming serious about spiritual life. I'm becoming detached from all these material things that are giving me trouble. That is higher consciousness. So thank you for listening. I have to run to the station now. We have some program in another city and I have to get on the train. But I can take one question. We have 2 minutes if you have a question. And I think there will be Kirtan here. But this Prabhuji is supposed to find somebody to sing. Maybe he will sing. Okay, so do anybody has any question? No? Thank you, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.